all three artists, herself as a spoken word artist, a poetess, and the two artists whose work was inspired by her poems.
Talk loud, precious.
This first piece, Alexis Audate did the mixed media, and it's called Focus Eternity. Infused with mantras, our minds center on strings, philosophies, ideologies, opinions, over and over and over. What is tangible? Is tangibility foremost relevant? Best listen to what we listen to. Best think about what we're thinking. Best know what we believe. Not all knowledge is truth, 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 truth. Focus, eternal relevance. So that's the poem that is. That's the poem that Alexis integrated here, and then she also took clips of the poem and, as you can see, integrated them in the piece. And when I asked her what the head meant, she was describing basically, you know, knowledge, us thinking, considering that. So that was kind of her interpretation of the poem. The head, the mind, us thinking of this. When she formed the head, she was thinking of the mantras, you know, because a mantra is something we're usually thinking over and over. That's part of the definition for that. And not all knowledge is truth is a mantra that I really infuse in my personal philosophy and really live by that when I'm just processing all of these new things. We're always learning, and there's so much knowledge, but not all of it's truth. And there is truth to be had, despite how some people also want to make kind of like this conglomeration that all knowledge is truth, but it's not. And you know, you could think of it as a conspiracy if you want. Some would go that route, but you know, you can maybe just sit back and just think things are what they are, and there is truth. You could think of that as a conspiracy, that people want to make things truth because their vested interests will be, you know, promoted. But, you know, you can take a simple route. You don't have to drown in it, you know. As we grow in wisdom, don't drown in it, because that's how some people kind of lose their mind, because they're, like, highly intelligent. But, does anybody have any questions about the poem? I know you may not remember. Any line that maybe you had a question about or anything?
What inspired you to make the poem to begin with? I'm sure something got you going in that direction.
Focus Eternity, the name of the piece. Because for me, the mantra of not all knowledge and truth is kind of like a foundation that I build what I believe on. And for me, my focus is eternity, to please God, because I love the Lord. So it's a focusing on eternity, and part of my foundation is not all knowledge is truth. So, you know, I learn a lot, but, you know, I don't take all knowledge as truth. I know I keep saying the same thing, but it is. It's exactly that. Any other questions?
Y'all was a quiet group. Y'all supposed to ask for a question.
How long have you been doing poetry?
I've been writing poetry since I was in middle school. So,
Can you write a poetry on my piece that's behind you?
with that one?
Uh-huh.
Right now?
Yeah.
Oh.
Freestyle. I like what you know the gist gist of the piece. It's about love betrayed. You know, the lies you hear when the relationship is going.
Are you going to pay a penny on her?
For this one?
Yeah, I can understand. Yeah, I got my paint in the car.
You gonna go to your next
I
one?
don't think that it's impossible. Do you get any? If you don't get anything inspiration from it, don't worry about it.
You just intimidate
I'm just messing with you.
Well, I do freestyle, but you know, I don't want to take up all the time either because there's a lot of other artists.
Yeah, I'm just messing with you. I'm just letting it alone.
This next piece is Exalted to Serve. What makes us reach for the sun in winter? Clouded thoughts are falling. Organize love to the cross of Christ, where sacrifice plants dedication neath sincere fields on hills and dirt alleys. Outstretched fingertips test in sunlight, the pinnacle of open hands to purpose. Dancing to God, he comes. Look how love has come. So, the title of really both of these are pretty explanatory of what the piece is about, Exalted to Serve, because, you know, lately, for me, it's just been really molding my life more to serve, you know, because at the end of the day, that's what matters, helping someone else. You can become rich, famous, I mean, anything. But if you aren't really helping someone else, then it's like the whole gain the world but lose your soul. So Exalted to Serve really sums up this piece.
You want to talk a little bit about what Pablo did, the artist?
And Pablo Rivera, and he does send his love. He is recuperating from feeling better. He did plan to come tonight, but he's got a little sick. This piece meant to him, the hands were reaching to God, so that's what the hands meant, because I did talk with him beforehand so I could explain this on his behalf, so don't think I'm just making this up. So the hands to him were reaching, and also serving, the outstretched hands serving, that's what it meant to him, that line in the poem when I said outstretched hands. And he also got from this piece about relationships, tying in with the theme of the exhibit here. The clasp hands are men and women helping each other. And one thing he was pointing out is though, yet notice how the wood isn't perfect. It's full of holes. And so he left it like that because he said that represents relationships. No relationship is perfect, whether it be with your friends, your family, your spouse. No relationship is perfect, but we still work together to be cohesive in unity because the love is important and, you know, foremost relevant. So that was his inspiration from the piece, was the relationships and cohesiveness. I guess just some other points from the poem to maybe take with the piece is sacrifice and dedication. You know, our culture is so pop, you know, instant, give me this, give me that. That really, we can forget, okay, this relationship's going to take sacrifice, so you give, I give, let's meet, you know, meet in the middle. But I have to walk with you a little ways, you know, when you're going through some trials. And I think a lot of that's being lost. So when we serve one another, that's the road to